Yours truly, Zeppo888, likes to get things for free. Please ignore my dental disaster I got going on here. It should be rectified in a few weeks. So, what is a garden volunteer? A garden volunteer is something very simple and easy to understand and to make use of, and it's free, so I hope you'll pay attention for just a couple of minutes. You may have had a tomato that was maybe partly rotten or whatever sit in your garden over the winter, and it may or may not have gotten mixed in with some dirt. Well, those seeds the following spring are very likely going to spring forth and sprout. When they do, I never let those plants go to waste. Now, it's been a number of years since I've been able to be actively engaged in the kind of gardening I would like to do because I have been physically not able to do that. This year could be different. We'll see. But I would like to pass on the things I've learned because I spent a whole lifetime trying to be cheap, frugal, and make sure I didn't ever starve to death for lack of food. And that has taken a lot of work, hard work and effort over the decades. So if you don't know what a volunteer is and you haven't used one, let me just explain. I'll just use tomatoes as an example, although green peppers would be a good one. Anything that has proliferation of seeds that can go to seed, anything that can go to seed or have a bunch of seeds inside of it, like a tomato or a green pepper or a yellow pepper or a red pepper, or they all have the seeds right inside the pepper. So let's talk about a tomato. Okay, a tomato is half rotten and you let it sit in the garden and it may or may not get covered up with some dirt. And the next spring, when Mother Nature tells the tomato to do so, the seeds begin to swell and the leaves start to go upward and the roots start to go downward, and lo and behold, you get a whole bunch of tomato plants all in one little wad, because that's where they landed. They landed all in one little wad in the tomato. And when Mother Nature tells them, and we'll probably have to cut this short and make 2 of them or whatever, then they sprout when they're told to by Mother Nature, when everything is right and ready. So you don't have to go through any of this falderall, I think is the word. Oh, excuse me. You don't have to go through any of this nonsense of trying to, get them acclimated to the sunshine. Just the video I just did about your plants getting sunburned. You don't have to go through all that because they come up and do it at the right time when they're commanded by the forces of nature. Now, you don't generally grow 50 tomatoes in a spot of ground that big around. So you let them come up. So I would say you're going to want them about yay tall. If you want to use them, and they're absolutely free, and especially if it's an heirloom seed that doesn't change its qualities from year to year, its characteristics from year to year, then what you want to do is very gently separate those roots. I have found by past experience that when I get tomato plants that are doing this kind of thing and the roots are all, tangled in each other, that if I put them in lukewarm water and just kind of dance them around, the soil will fall off of the roots, and then you can very easily separate all those little hairy, baby fine roots. Same with the peppers. Same with the cucumbers, if the cucumbers were allowed to stay out there to maturity. I always thought that volunteer plants were not weeds, and so I would take them and separate them and plant a tomato plant, deeper than the first set of leaves, and canned a lot more tomatoes that way and didn't have to pay anything for them, so they're free. And to me, the big advantage is they do what they need to do when God and His nature tell them to do it. And so you're set. You don't have to go through any of that stuff. You just slap them in their own little spot of ground. There is another video on here about a method that you put a tin can in the ground to water your tomatoes and so forth, and I can't remember the name of it. You could probably do a search on my channel and find that. But the basic concept is you take I would say a can, you can do it with 16-ounce cans, but generally 28 ounces and bigger, larger, up to the tomato juice size can. Those are really nice. And you poke holes or punch holes in the bottom and the sides of the can, and then bury it so that the top rim of the can is flush with the ground. I'm not doing a very good, not doing a very, there, that's better. This is a can, this is the ground, so that it's flush with the ground. And so it keeps the water from running off and evaporating and puts the water right down towards the roots. I might do a separate video yet still about that, but we're 5 minutes and 37 seconds, so I think I'll stop right there. So make you see your volunteers. They're free. God bless you. So I said that already. Bye.